Hello students, let's begin the lecture 6 of part 2, that is traverse surveying of unit 3. This is the last lecture of unit 3 and here in this lecture we are going to study some basic methods for determining the values of adjustment of traverse in the form of latitude and departure. So before going to this lecture, let us recall some topics which we have covered in the last lecture. So in the last lecture we have covered check in the closed traverse. Then we have also studied that under closed traverse there are two types of closed traverse, that is closed loop closed traverse and open loop closed traverse. In both the methods we have determined how to calculate the value of latitude and departure of the traverse lines and how to check whether a particular traverse is having any error or not. Then we have studied about the closing error in the closed loop closed traverse system. So we have learned how to calculate the value of closing error, which will be equal to under root ex square plus ey square, where ex square, or we can say where ex is the algebraic sum of all the latitudes and ey is the algebraic sum of errors in the departure. In the last part we have learned about check-in and open traverse. So there are different methods to determine the check-in and open traverse. After covering these topics, now in this lecture we are going to know what are the different adjustments that one could make in the traverse in order to compute accurate values, or we can say in order to get closed loop system. So for that we have four methods: arbitrary method, Bowditch rule, transit rule and axis method. After going through all these methods, we will learn how to represent the values of latitude and departure as well as the correction in the particular traverse lines in terms of linear measurement and angular measurement, and then how to represent all those values in the form of table. After that we are going to learn inversing, which is the phenomena of determining the coordinates from the end point. Like for example, if I am having a traverse A, B, C, D, E, so we need to determine the independent coordinates of each station A, B, C, D, E, and we are going to determine it with the help of the last point, that is E, and we are knowing the coordinates of that line, last line, that is EA, and from that how we are going to calculate all the coordinates of the remaining traverse lines. So from there we can learn how, with the method of inversing, how to determine the coordinates. Lastly, we are going to study about how to plot a traverse with the help of a theodolite. Means after getting all the values of angles and all the values of length with the help of theodolite, how to plot or how to make a draft of that particular traverse in the piece of paper or in the map. Then we are going to learn few numericals based on these methods. So let's begin the lecture. So why adjustment of traverse is needed? As we have already discussed in the last lecture, that if there is an error in the closure of a particular traverse, then that traverse should be adjusted so that it can be geometrically closed. Suppose if you have determined the value from the theodolite and you are plotting it in the paper, then if that particular traverse is not closed somewhere, then in that case we need to first close that traverse. So that it should be the actual traverse should be retained geometrically without any error. So if the error of closure is within the permissible limit, then what we will do? We will just try to adjust all the values of the traverse among different traverse lines, or we can say among different stations. But if the error of closure is very large, then we need to repeat the experiment. Means we need to determine the values again with the help of theodolite. Then again same procedure we need to follow, and then we will check whether we are getting a closed traverse or not. Now the purpose of adjustment of the traverse is just to reduce the error of the closure to maximum, or we can say to 0. Means we did not want any opening in the traverse. We just want that traverse should be perfectly closed. Thus the error is distributed among various sides of the traverse in such a manner that the traverse will be geometrically closed. So there are various methods of adjusting a simple ordinary traverse and having an accuracy of 1 in 20,000. So let's begin with different methods. First method is the arbitrary method. In this particular method, all the linear closing error is distributed arbitrarily. I mean to say, whatever errors we are getting in the length of a particular traverse line, then as I have told in the last lecture, we have arbitrary corrections for such type of traverse, in which we are doing more correction, we are making more correction to such traverse lines having smaller length. So we make more correction for that. While if the traverse line is having larger length, then we are going to make less correction for that case. So in this manner of arbitrary method, we just distribute the error arbitrarily. Okay. Now according to the experience of surveyor, he may decide to make either larger correction or smaller correction to any of the side of the traverse. Sometimes it also happens that whether making correction to all different traverse lines, surveyor decide to make correction only to one single line, depending upon the specific condition on which he had determined or he had calculated values from the theodolite. Now this arbitrary method is very simple and logical for a small ongoing project, as it provides a logical proportion to the correction and on the basis of the accuracy of each measurement. So with the help of the good understanding of a surveyor, he may choose the decision of making different correction to different traverse lines. But what is the main disadvantage with this arbitrary method? And it is that a person who have taken the reading in the field is different, while the person who is making or computing the plan, or I can say the map in the office, is different. So might be it happen that he may not able to judge which side of the traverse should get the larger correction or which side should get the smaller correction. So sometimes this method is not that relevant in case of traverse adjustment. Going to the second method, which is a Bowditch rule. This is very important method and most vastly used in different survey practice, and in this method this rule is also known as compass rule. In this particular rule, the angles and distances are measured with same accuracy as well as with same precision. It means equal observations or equal calculation should be thoroughly made for both angular as well as for linear measurement. Also, in this particular method, which is frequently used, the theodolite traverse adjustment for angular and linear measurement are having comparable accuracy. I have already explained how to determine the instrument for measuring angular measurement or for doing linear measurement on the basis of the accuracy of the chosen other measurement method. What I mean to say, for example, I have a theodolite having least count 20 second or having least count 30 second, then with that particular theodolite, which linear measurement instrument we have to use so that the error should come in minimum level. So in that point of view, we have to maintain or we have to observe the accuracy of both linear as well as angular measurement equipments, and then we have to compute the value of linear and angular measurement in the traverse. So in this particular method, we need to make or choose such devices, or I can say such supplementary linear measurement equipments, so that both angular and linear measurements are of comparable accuracy. Now this Bowditch rule is based on the assumption that the error in the traverse are accidental in nature. This is very important point. Means we need to determine the error in the Bowditch rule thinking or having the assumption that these errors are random in nature. Now the probable error in a traverse line is assumed to be directly proportional to the square root of the length of the traverse line and inversely proportional to the angle of the or bearing of the traverse line. Means for angular measurement, the probable error in the traverse is said to be inversely proportional, while for the linear measurement, the probable error in a traverse line by Bowditch rule is said to be directly proportional. So these 2 points we have to keep in mind before going or before making the computation with the help of this rule. Now according to this rule, the ratio of the error in latitude or departure of a particular traverse line to the total error in latitude or departure is always equal to the ratio of the length of that line to the total length of the traverse. Now here total length of the traverse we can say it as perimeter also. Okay. So as I have already told you that error and corrections are equal in magnitude, but they are opposite in direction. Means whatever error is there, if I need to make the correction for that error, then same amount of value I have to either deduct or add from that error, so that that correction will give me a zero error. So in this manner, here you can see if error of latitude of any line I want to calculate, then it will be equal to total error in latitude represented by small ey into ratio of length of that line upon perimeter of the traverse. With the help of numerical, we are going to clear this concept after few slides. Now, what are the corrections that we are going to make for the latitude? So, correction will be equal to what? Correction will be equal to this particular value into minus. Minus, here you can see the sign. It represents that whatever error we are getting, it is of same magnitude but in opposite direction for making the correction. In the similar manner, error of departure of any line will be equal to total error in departure, which is represented by Ex, as I have explained in the last lecture also, into length of that line upon perimeter of that traverse. And in the similar manner, we can make correction of the departure of any line by taking same magnitude but with negative sign. Now, above correction applied should produce a perfect geometrical closure. If the geometrical closure is 0 after applying this correction, then we can say that we have adjusted our traverse properly. So it means after applying this rule, after applying the correction, we will get summation of departure is equal to 0 and summation of latitude will be equal to 0. Now you are knowing what is L, how we calculate L. The latitude is calculated by L cos theta, while the departure will be calculated by L sin theta. Now after adjusting the traverse by Bowditch rule, both the length and bearing of the lines are changed, because the effect can be seen on both the length as well as on the bearing, that is theta. After comparing with the transit rule, which we are going to study in the next slide, we can just make a difference between this rule and the transit rule, and which is that after applying Bowditch rule, the length changed are less as compared to the angles. If I can explain it with the help of this figure. Suppose here a traverse is started, or you have computed the values of traverse with station A, B, C, D. Now after that, this D, we will calculate the angle and it should get close somewhere again at A, if it will be a perfect traverse without having any closing error. But we have determined after the computation of the angles which we have measured with the help of theodolite and the distances with the help of chain or tape on the basis of the accuracy, comparable accuracy. Now we have find that this particular traverse is not closed, and this line D and the line starting from station D does not meet here at A, rather it is ending somewhere at point A dash. So here A dash I can say is a closing error, and in order to apply the correction for this closing error, I need to apply correction which is equal to same magnitude. So here in the same manner, in order to make the geometrically closure traverse, I need to deduct this value of error E equal to 0. This is the reason why we have taken the summation as 0 for latitude also and for departure also. Now from this formula, what I want to conclude, that if I need to calculate the error in the latitude of line AB, because whatever traverse line is there, we need to calculate its horizontal component as well as its vertical component. So I have already explained you that latitude and departure are nothing, they are just orthographic projection of these lines which are lying either in the direction of meridian, that is north-south, or perpendicular to the direction of meridian, that is east-west. So latitude of AB, line AB, is calculated as total error in the latitude, okay, total error in the latitude into length of this line. Suppose if length of this line is x meter, upon perimeter, which is the sum of all the traverse line, okay, sum of all the traverse line. So this will give me the value of error in the latitude of AB. Similarly, error of the departure of any line, say AB, can be calculated as this line. Departure can be calculated as, now departure, as you can connect it from the last lecture, that departure is that direction or the orthographic projection of the traverse line in the direction perpendicular to the meridian, okay. So departure will be equal to Ex, that is in the direction of east-west, into length of the line AB upon algebraic sum of all the sides of the traverse, okay. So in this manner we can able to calculate the values of error, and in order to calculate the correction for this value, we just have to take minus sign before the error, and we can make the corrections in the actual values. So probable error in the case of Bowditch rule is always proportional to the under root of length, while inversely proportional to the angular measurement, okay. So this point we need to remember while calculating with traverse with the help of Bowditch rule. Let's move on to transit rule. In this particular method, the traverse is balanced where the angular measurement are taken more precisely than the linear measurement, okay. So in the theodolite traverse, the angular measurement are generally precise, but the linear measurement are not of the same or comparable precision. So if such cases are there, we can easily apply transit rule. For example, suppose if you have taken the readings from the theodolite of all the included angles and bearing of the traverse line, and then you have measured the length between different traverse station with the help of either chain or tape, depending upon the type of theodolite or angular measurement devices you are using of comparable accuracy, then in that particular case you will, if you are finding that linear measurement are not that correct as compared to angular measurement, then simply we have to go for transit rule. Okay, but if you will find that linear measurement and angular measurement both are random in nature, both are equally disturbed in nature, then we have to follow or we have to choose Bowditch rule in that case. So in transit rule, if the linear measurement are not that accurate while angular measurement you have determined are accurate, we can use this method. So what is the formula for this method? Transit rule is applicable with the formula of ratio in the error in the latitude or departure of a line to the total error in latitude or departure multiplied by numerical value of the latitude of that line, or we can say arithmetic sum of all the latitude. How to calculate these value I can show you in few slides afterward. So now we will calculate the error with the help of transit rule in latitude as well as in departure. So the error in the latitude will be calculated as total error in latitude represented by EY into numerical value of the latitude of that particular line upon arithmetic sum of all the latitude. Similarly, error in the departure of any line will be calculated as total error in departure and multiplication of numerical ratio of numerical value of the departure of that line upon arithmetic sum of all the departure. And if I want to calculate the correction, then what I need to do? I just need to take the value, this total value, and take the negative sign. You can see here. Okay. Now the very important point which we need to understand is that if in the case of transit rule we are finding a line having 0 latitude or parallel to any of the coordinate axis, then in that case we are not going to have any correction either to the latitude or to the departure. Means if a line is run parallel to any of the coordinate axis, either x-axis or y-axis, then no adjustment will change the bearing of the line. Only the line which are inclined to the coordinate axis, in that case only the adjustment will affect the bearing. Otherwise the adjustment can only be done for the linear values, for the linear measurement, that is the L. In the transit rule, therefore the angles are changed less while the length gets changed more, because from the beginning only we are calculating angle with high precision as compared to length in this particular method. Fourth method is our axis method. This method is also very easy method to calculate or to adjust the traverse. In this method the corrections are applied only to length. No corrections are applied to the bearing of the line, because bearing of the line is all calculated in this case also with high precision value, just like transit rule. In this particular method the traverse is balanced in which angles are measured precisely. Okay. So now in the axis method, as the direction of lines are unaffected, direction I mean to say angle or bearing, then the general shape of the traverse will not change. Only we need to calculate the closure of the traverse on the basis of the linear measurement. Now the following procedure which I am going to discuss with you will tell you how to adjust the traverse with the help of axis method. Okay. So now let us consider here suppose after calculating all the angles, and if you have cross checked that angles between the traverse lines, if they are okay, or you have if you have calculated it correctly, then I need to just close this traverse geometrically. This was my task. So suppose here a traverse is there. Suppose if I will say A dash, B dash, C dash, D dash, E dash. Now this traverse should get closed somewhere here only. A dash means if from E dash I will go as per the calculation of linear measurement, I will get this point A dash with the help of coordinate. Then only I can say my traverse is balanced or adjusted. But now you can see here I am not going somewhere here, rather I am coming or resting somewhere here, A1 dash. It means there is a closing error of A dash and A1 dash. So I need to deduct this error, or I can say I need to plot a traverse in such a way that this error will be distributed, this total error will be distributed in all the traverse line, so that the final point get closed. Means this error, which is equal to A dash A1 dash, this particular length, suppose it is x centimeter or x meter, I need to divide this x meter and distribute this x meter in the different axis or in the different traverse line, A dash, B dash, B dash, C dash, C dash, D dash, D dash, E dash, in such a manner that I can get a closed traverse. So how to do that? We need to join the points A1 dash and A dash, okay, and then we need to produce this line A1 dash and A dash somewhere here up to the extent such that it will cut C dash D dash line somewhere at X, okay. So this line, this particular line, now A1 dash X, is known as axis of the traverse, which is dividing the traverse into two equal halves. After that, after locating this particular point X, you do not have to worry about how to do. Just first of all, you have a traverse which is not closed, okay. Now you have determined this value A1 dash A dash. Now you just need to join these errors with the help of a dotted line, and you need to extend it up to that last line. Suppose it is C dash D dash in this particular case, and you have to mark that point X. You just need to draw this line, and this is known as the axis of the traverse, from where you will we get this particular name as axis method. So about this axis only we need to distribute all the error here is A1 dash A dash, all this error in the length of the traverse line. So after that we bisect the line A1 dash A dash in such a manner that somewhere A is the midpoint of that error, A1 dash A dash, okay. Now after locating the middle point, we need to draw a line AB which is perpendicular to line A dash B dash. We need to draw it, which is not perpendicular, rather it is parallel. We need to draw a line AB which is parallel to this side of traverse A dash B dash, and we need to extend it up to such a manner so that when we draw a point or a line from X B dash, then it will meet at certain point. Let's name this point as B. So you got the point. What I am saying, that this is the error A dash A1 dash. We need to divide this A1 dash A dash equally. So I am getting A as the middle point. Now with the help of this middle point, I will draw a line AB which is parallel to the line, actual traverse line A dash B dash, and I need to extend it up to such a length that when I will join point x which I have calculated in the previous step by joining this error to the last line of the traverse line C dash D dash. I have calculated x. Now when I extend this xb dash, it will meet the line somewhere here B. So I locate this point, I name this point as B, and I will get my second station with the corrected error, corrected or distributed error. Now after getting B point, what I need to do, I need to draw a line BC in such a manner that it should be perfectly parallel to line B dash C dash, and when I will extend the line XC dash, then it will join somewhere here. Okay, means first we need, I have obtained the point B. Now parallel to line B dash C dash, I will draw a line, dotted line from B. I will draw it up to such extent from where I will get the intersection point from XC dash. Okay, so this is the intersection point of this line which is parallel to B dash C dash and XC dash. So I will locate this point, or I will name this point as C, or I can say this is the corrected station or distributed error station C. Now after getting the coordinate C or station C, I need to determine another station. Already we have determined 3 corrected stations, that are A, B and C. Now we need to determine 2 more, D and E. Okay. So for determining the station D, what I need to do, I just need to do first E station. First I need to determine E station, because here as you can see, after getting point C, here we are getting a line which I have treated it as a corrected traverse or corrected or common traverse line. This C dash D dash is a common traverse line for the corrected traverse also. So now here we are getting C point. Now we will try to plot a new point E. Okay. So for that, what we will do, we will just draw a line parallel to A1 dash E dash in such a manner. We will extend, because we are knowing this point A, so we will extend this dotted line up to such a extent such that when we draw a line XE dash, then the intersection point will come somewhere here, and we will name this point as E. Okay, so means from C you can see here, after locating the axis of this particular traverse AX, I have plotted the corrected station with the help of joining this X point to the different station. Here I have extended it to XB dash, then XC dash, then XE dash, then XD dash. In the same manner, I will determine the point E. Means I need to sketch a line which is parallel to line A1 dash E dash, and I will extend it up to such a extent so that I will get an intersection point somewhere in the line XE dash. Okay, so I have located my point E. Now from that point E, I will try to draw a line parallel to E dash D dash, which is the last line of my traverse, because all other lines I have already determined, corrected traverse line we have already determined. So now for closing this particular traverse, dotted traverse, I will plot a line ED which will be perfectly parallel to line E dash D dash, and I will join it to the point somewhere where XD dash will meet. So this is the line XD dash, old I can say the old traverse line XD dash. Okay, so we are getting our new dotted line intersecting somewhere here at point D. So this D is the new corrected station. So in this manner you can see here. Now after getting the traverse, please try to see the dotted portion. So the dotted portion, that is now the traverse A, B, C, then D, E, again A. So we have determined the error A dash, A1 dash, and then we have distributed this error in the length of the traverse lines in such a manner. Now we are getting a closed traverse. So now it is geometrically stable, or we can say geometrically it is adjusted, because we are getting closed traverse A, B, C, D, E, which is earlier A dash, B dash, C dash, D dash, E dash and A1 dash. So we have reduced this error. Now how to calculate how much this error will be? So this error will be calculated from the similar triangle properties. Let us consider ABX, big triangle ABX, and A dash, B dash, X. So from here we can calculate the correction to line AB. You can determine it with the help of similar angle triangle properties, and you can see that AX upon A dash X. Okay, see here, AX upon A dash X into A dash B dash minus, if you deduct it with A dash B dash, then we can get what? We can get correction to this particular line AB. Okay, so you can calculate also how we will determine it. This is the solved version. Try to calculate it geometrically with yourself by using the similar angle triangle property in triangle A dash B dash X and triangle ABX. So you can easily determine by yourself how this formula is coming. So in this manner, from the axis method, we have determined that the correction to any line, suppose if I am considering line AB, so correction to any line AB will be equal to one half, that is, this is, suppose A1 dash, A dash is the closing error, so this is A dash or A1 dash is the 1/2 error. So 1/2 of the closing error upon length of the axis. Length of the axis means this axis is AX, length of the axis into length of that particular line. So here length of the line is A dash, B dash. Okay, so in this manner we can make calculation and correction for all the traverse line, and we will adjust this traverse linearly because angular measurement are already calculated well. Now suppose if you have determined this particular value A, and when you have joined this by drawing an axis which is passing from A1 dash, A dash, X, suppose in this particular case it is dividing the traverse in two equal parts. But suppose if it will happen somewhere that if the axis dividing the traverse into two approximately equal parts is not possible, or I can say if the closing error line A1 dash, A dash when extended does not cut the traverse in two equal half, then in that particular condition or for that particular traverse we need to follow different procedure. Okay, so in that particular case, suppose for example here if I will say I have the traverse A dash, B dash, C dash, D dash, E dash, and it should be closed if E dash will join somewhere again to A dash, but E dash is ending somewhere at A1 dash. So we have an error of A dash, A1 dash in this particular case, and if I will try to locate the midpoint of the error, suppose here somewhere it will be A, then if I will try to join the axis, suppose the axis will be somewhere I am considering as D dash, C dash, and if I will join this axis, it might be possible that the axis is not dividing the traverse into two equal halves, as here this line A dash X is dividing the traverse into two equal halves. So in that particular case, what we need to do, we just need to draw a line we just need to draw a line A dash, E double dash. Okay, just draw a line A dash, E double dash through A passing from A dash, and it should be equal to A1 dash E dash. Okay, so this E dash A1 dash is what? It is a traverse line. It is a traverse line which we need to correct, so that this error should be 0. A1 dash A dash should be 0. So what we need to do in this condition? We just need to plot a line which should be parallel to A1 dash E dash and should be equal in magnitude of A1 dash E dash. So I have plotted this as A dash and it is resting somewhere here E double dash. So the length of the line A dash E double dash and A1 dash E dash is almost equal. After getting this, what is the next task? I need to draw a next line E double dash D double dash, and then this E double dash D double dash should be drawn in such a manner it should be parallel to line E dash D dash and it should be in equal magnitude to E dash D dash. Okay, now what we need to do? We just need to join D double dash to D dash. So earlier in this particular case we are getting the error A1 A dash and we are getting the midpoint as A, which is exactly the midpoint of the error and which is dividing the traverse into 2 equal half. But since here the error is again A1 dash A dash, but it is not dividing the traverse in the equal half, so what we did? We just tried to determine the same amount of error which is equal to A1 dash A dash here, D dash D double dash, and we have calculated it how? We have plotted it how? By just drawing the traverse, by just drawing the lines parallel to and equal in magnitude to the traverse lines which are having error. Like here A1 dash E dash, we have drawn a line parallel to A1 dash E dash and we have drawn the line parallel to E dash D dash. So here we got the point D double dash. Now we have to repeat same procedure after that. Means now we will calculate the point D, which is the midpoint, and from this point D we need to calculate the correction in all the traverse line just as previous case. So here after getting point A, what we did? After getting point A, we just draw the line AB parallel to A dash B dash. So now here we get the point D. So now what we need to do? We just need to draw a line which is parallel to D dash C dash in such a manner, okay, in such a manner, D dash C dash, suppose I am drawing from here, in such a manner this particular line this particular line will intersect the line B dash C dash. Okay, so in the same manner we will determine the value. So a new unadjusted traverse D dash C dash B dash A dash, okay, E double dash and D double dash. We are having this traverse now with us. So D dash C dash B dash A dash E double dash D double dash. So this is the traverse we are having, and this is the axis of the traverse which have divided the traverse into 2 equal half. Now our task is to compute or to close this error. Means I need to calculate the value of the error so that this E double dash should lie somewhere here in the point D dash. Okay, so above procedure will be applied from here in the same manner. Okay, so our axis is this is our axis. So now we will start making the line. Suppose, for example, if I will say this is the corrected line A, now what we will do for the line AB, what I will do? Now I will try to draw a line. I will try to draw a line parallel to line A dash B dash, and I should draw the line up to such extent it will cut the or touch the axis of the traverse. Okay, so in this manner, like here we draw, we will try to calculate the actual traverse without any error. Hope the method is clear to you. Even if this is not clear to you, please ask me through mail. Now the next table we have to discuss is the traverse table. Okay. So traverse computation should be first of all done correctly. It should be checked properly whether any closing error is there or not. If the closing error is not there, we have to put all the values properly in the systematic manner so that we can get the independent coordinate at the last in order to plot the particular traverse. Okay. Suppose here I have this traverse PQRST with me. Suppose I am knowing the line, I am knowing the bearing of line PQ. Okay. Because since this is the first line, I am knowing the line of the bearing of the first traverse line PQ. And I am also knowing all the included angles of this particular traverse. Okay. So with our ultimate aim is what? Our ultimate aim is, after making all the corrections and after doing all the computations of latitude and departure, I need to reduce the closing error to 0 and I need to determine the independent coordinates after removing all the errors from the traverse. So it can be calculated and it can be shown systematically in the form of traverse, which is known as Gale's traverse. So suppose this is a traverse we are having. We are having all the included angles. With the help of theodolite we have calculated it. I am also knowing the bearing of the first line of this traverse, which is line PQ. Suppose this traverse we are plotting in the anti-clockwise direction. Now how to represent, how to prepare or how to keep the data in the table? So here the first column is station. We will mark all the station, P, Q, R, S, T, then P. Then what are the traverse lines? Okay, we will mark it as PQ, then QR, RS, ST, TP. Length of each traverse length of the traverse line we have already calculated with the help of either chain or tape, linear measurement equipment. Suppose these are the length of the different traverse lines. These are the interior angles we have calculated with the help of theodolite. Now after that our actual correction will start. These are something which we are having in prior. Apart from these 4 columns which we are having the values from the theodolite, we have the value of bearing of the first line PQ. Okay. So now what is the next task? We just apply a simple check first of all in the interior angle. We have found out that the error is about 540 degree and 1 minute. Now this 1 minute is extra, so what we need to do? We need to just correct the angles. So after correcting the angles, what we need to reduce? We need to reduce this error and distribute it equally in all the angles. So here in the form of corrected angle we are getting 95 degree, 45 minutes, 30 seconds, okay, or sorry 3 seconds. Similarly from this particular interior angle we have deducted 12 minutes, from here we have deducted 12 minutes, from here we have deducted 12 minutes, and from this angle we have deducted 12 minutes. So we are getting the values of corrected angle. Now again we will do the summation and we will found that the check is coming perfectly fine, which is equal to 540 degree. Here I have chosen n is equal to 5 and I have chosen, and from where I get this value, how I am knowing this, it is 540 from 2n minus 4 into 90 degree. Okay. Now suppose this whole circle bearing or the bearing or azimuth of this first line is given PQ. So you can see here, if I will plot the meridian, this PQ line is lying somewhere in the quadrant 4, which is in the quadrant north and west. So here you can see north and west direction is shown and the value is calculated in the form of reduced bearing. So with the help of the included angle and the bearing, we can calculate bearing of all the lines, which I have already explained you people in the earlier lecture, that if we have the included angle of different traverse line, included angle between different traverse line, and if we have the bearing of any one traverse line, then how to calculate the bearing of other traverse line. So first of all you have to calculate the bearing of the traverse line. Okay, here you have calculated, this is already known to us. Then with the help of the corrected angle, corrected included angle, we will calculate the value of bearing. How to calculate it you already know. Included angle plus the bearing of preceding line will give us the value of bearing of next line, which I have already covered in the last lecture. Please go through it. So in this manner you can calculate whole circle bearing of rest of the station Q, R, S, T. P is already given in the question, and Q, R, S, T values of whole circle bearing of these 4 stations you can calculate with the help of this bearing and the corrected included angle of the traverse. So once you got these values, you just need to convert it into quadrantal bearing system by mentioning the quadrant very precisely. Here mentioning the quadrant or putting attention to the quadrant is very important, because you are going to calculate ultimately the independent coordinates which are dependent on the sign convention of the latitude and departure which you are going to calculate. Okay, so now we need to calculate the value of latitude, which will be equal to, what is the formula of latitude? It is equal to L cos theta. Okay, so here length is 92.90 meter. Okay, 92.90 into cos theta, where theta will be 288 degree 45 minute 25 second. So with the help of this formula L cos theta, we will calculate the value as 29.87. Now the question is where I should keep this value. Either I should take this latitude as positive or negative. So you can see that northwest for line PQ, which is the 4th quadrant, and in 4th quadrant as per sign convention we are knowing the value of latitude should be positive, while the value of departure should be negative. So here that's why we have calculated the value L cos theta and we have kept it in the positive column, while the departure value L sin theta, since it is in the west coordinate, it is projecting towards the west coordinate, so we have kept the departure value in the negative. You can see here. Okay, now the second for the line QR. For line QR, the length of the line QR is given as 80.60 meter. So similarly, after calculating the whole circle bearing of this line QR, we can say that 183 degree 25 minute 30 second will lie again in which quadrant? Tell me. This is again, we can say this particular line is lying in the quadrant southwest. Okay, how you know that this is lying in the quadrant southwest? Because you have considered the north-south system here. Okay, or you can also see, if you can consider north-south, just plot north-south axis and east-west axis. You will find that QR line is lying somewhere in the quadrant 3, that is southwest quadrant. Now southwest quadrant, as per sign convention, we have to take latitude and departure both value negative. So latitude is equal to L cos theta, which is coming as 80.46, where L is 80.60 meter and theta is 183 degree 25 minute 30 second. So by computation we will get value as 80.46, and L sin theta for departure value is coming as 4.82, which we need to put it in the negative direction, that is west direction or westing. Similarly for the line RS, you can see here RS, if I will plot the meridian, then this RS value is lying somewhere in the second quadrant, which is southeast. So this southeast quadrant, or the second quadrant is having sign convention as latitude value negative, because the orthographic projection is towards south direction, while the departure value is taken as positive because the orthographic projection is somewhere in the east direction. So you can see here L cos theta and L sin theta. So L cos theta here I have kept the value in the negative column, and L sin theta that is the departure value, I have kept here in the positive column. So in the similar manner, on the basis of the quadrant in which these particular traverse lines are lying, we need to carefully observe those values, those quadrant. Then we need to carefully determine the value of latitude and departure, and we have to correctly put these values in different columns, depending, either it should be considered as positive, that is northing, or southing, or negative in the case of latitude, while or easting is taken as positive and westing is taken as negative for the departure case. After calculating all the latitude and departure of different traverse lines, considering proper sign convention, what we need to do? We just do the algebraic summation. So algebraic summation of these two values of latitude for line PQ and TP. You can see here TP. So TP is also coming in which direction? Tell me. So this TP is coming in the first quadrant, northeast direction, and the value is somewhat 5 degree or something, 5 degree. If I will plot here north south axis, then 5 degree or something is the bearing of this line TP. So TP line and PQ line is coming in the first quadrant, so we have taken it as positive because it is representing the north direction. In the same manner, it is representing the projection in the east direction, so we have taken the positive values. Rest other latitude values are considered as negative. In the similar manner, departure values are taken and we can do the algebraic summation. Now we need to determine the correction in the latitude or departure. So here I am going to calculate the correction of latitude and departure with the help of transit rule. You have already learned this transit rule, how to calculate. So transit rule will be equal to total error in the latitude multiplied by numerical value of the latitude of that particular line upon arithmetic sum of all the latitude. Okay. Keeping this formula in mind, let us calculate for the first line. So here total error in the latitude will be calculated as 29.87. Okay. So 29.87 value upon what we need to do? After this we need to calculate the algebraic sum of all the latitude value. So what is the algebraic sum of the value here? Tell me. So in this case we can say that the algebraic sum of the value here is equal to 133.59 plus 133.77, which is equal to 267.36. So calculating the value, we can do computation as total error in the latitude, which will be equal to closing error, or I can say that which will be equal to E is equal to under root E x square plus E y square. What I mean to say, if you people can remember the value of closing error, which is equal to under root of ex square plus ey square, where ex and ey are the error in the latitude and error in the departure respectively. So here that value E is calculated first. How it will be calculated in this case? Here we have calculated all the value of latitude in the positive direction, negative direction. So with the help of this we can get the summation of latitude, which will be equal to, since it is in negative direction, okay, so 133.77 minus 133.59, so we are getting the error as minus 0.18. okay, so minus 0.18 we will get as the summation of latitude. Okay, now what will be the summation of departure? Positive, we will consider positive values are 92.74, and the negative side it is 92.79. So when we deduct it, we will get somewhat minus 0.05 value here, 92.74 minus 92.79. So the summation of departure will be somewhat minus 0.05. Okay. So with the help of this summation of latitude and departure, we can calculate the closing error, which will be equal to under root of summation of latitude square plus summation of departure square. So here it will be equal to summation of 0.18 square minus summation of or under root of 0.18 square plus 0.05 square, and you can calculate the value as 0.187. So with the help of that, we can actually calculate the correction. So suppose if the closing error which I have calculated for this particular case is 0.187, so now how to calculate the correction for each latitude value? So for that, what I will do, I will just go by the formula of transit rule, that is the latitude of any line. Suppose I have chosen the line PQ here, latitude of any line P of any traverse line 29.87 upon sum of all the traverse line, arithmetic sum of all the latitude of traverse line. Now here arithmetic sum is total sum irrespective of the sign convention. Okay. Firstly, we have to use the sign convention for calculating the algebraic sum of latitude. Then we need to add these two values, or we need to calculate the arithmetic sum of latitude. So don't get confused here with the formula of transit rule, because we need to calculate two things. First is the arithmetic sum of the latitude, which will be the sum of these two values, okay, irrespective of sign, means 133.59 plus 133.77, which will be equal to somewhat 267. Okay. Then we need to calculate the algebraic sum of latitude, which will be with respect to sign. So here the sign is positive, here the sign is negative, and the algebraic sum will be delta L, which will be equal to minus 0.18. So in the transit rule, we need to calculate both algebraic sum as well as arithmetic sum. So the formula will be what? The formula will be error in any coordinate of the particular line will be calculated or is equal to the latitude of that particular line upon arithmetic sum of the latitude multiplied by closing error. So here 29.87 upon sum of these two values, okay, multiplied by closing error, which will be calculated by under root L square plus D square. So in this manner you can calculate this value 0.02, 0.05, 0.03, 0.01, 0.07. In the same manner we will calculate the value of departure. So the departure value, how we will calculate it? Departure value will be calculated as error, or we can say the value of departure in a particular line. So here if I can say in this line PQ, the departure value is given as 87.97. So 87.97 upon arithmetic sum of the departure. Now arithmetic sum of the departure will be simple sum without going to the sign. So we will just add 92.74 and 92.79. Therefore 87.97 upon sum of these two values into closing error, which is again 0.187, that is under root of L square plus D square. In this manner we will calculate all the values, all the correction for the departure value. Okay. Now since here in this particular case the value of error which we have calculated is coming as negative, okay, here you can see the algebraic sum is coming negative, here also algebraic sum is coming negative. So we can take all the correction as positive. Okay. Now these are the corrections, so make the correction. For example, here 29.87 is the value before correcting the latitude, and after correction, okay, we have to take positive So we will get 29.89. Similarly, 87.97 is the departure value. We will add 0.02 and we will get here 87.95. Okay. In the similar manner, now the corrected value is 0.05 and 0.0. So 0.05 here we are taking it as positive. You can see here, and now we will get it as 80.46 minus 0.05. So whatever value you have taken here or considered here, we will just try to deduct in that in order to calculate the correction, because here some errors are there, and for correcting it we just do the computation by either adding or by deducting. Suppose here, since it is 29.87, we have calculated it. Like here also it is positive, here it is positive. Now here in the southing, so it is negative for line QR. For line QR it is negative. Okay. So here the correction is 0.05 in the positive direction of the latitude. So means we need to deduct it from here because it is in negative direction. So 80.646 minus 0.05, you can get it here 80.41. In the similar manner, you can calculate the value of latitude, you can calculate the value of departure. Okay, both for easting, westing and northing, southing. So in this manner we will get the corrected consecutive coordinate. Okay. Now after calculating that, we need to ultimately calculate the independent coordinate. We need to choose the coordinate in such a manner all the points we can compute or we can try to locate in the first quadrant. Okay. So suppose I have chosen the point as 200, coordinate value as 200. So with that, for each station, for each line, I can calculate the coordinate. For each station, how? For example, here I am getting the corrected value in the positive direction 29.89. So I will add 29.89 with 200 and I will get the value as 229.89. And here I am getting the departure value. Okay, the departure value in the towards the westing direction as the correcting value. So I will deduct it from the coordinate 87.95 from 200 and I will get as 112.05. In the similar manner, for the all other stations, for example, suppose I will again choose this station R. So for here, I can see that for station R, the values, the corrected values are coming as in southing 80.41. So what is the next task? 80.41 is deducted from 220 from this value, means from 200 value. Okay. So you need to deduct 80.41 from this point 229.89 and you need to deduct 4.82 from 112.05 and you will get this value. Means whatever coordinates you are getting, you just need to deduct the value of corrected coordinate from the previous coordinates to get the next coordinate. Okay. Suppose for station T, if I want to calculate the independent coordinate, I am seeing that for station T or for station T, I will look for the corrections whatever made in the station S. So it is coming as 14.39 meter in the south direction and 53.51 meter in the east direction. Okay. So what I did, I just reduced 14.39 value from the previous coordinate because it is coming in negative direction. Suppose if this 14.39 value is here in the positive direction, then I will simply add this value. But since it is coming in negative direction, I just deduct this value, and similarly I just deduct 53.51 from 122.52 and I am getting 176.03. So in this manner, after calculating the coordinate for all the for all the station P, Q, R, S, T, at the last if I am getting or resting upon the same coordinate 200, 200 which I have chosen at the beginning or at the starting, then I can say that my closure error is 0 and my traverse adjustment is perfect. So in this manner we can tabulate or we can compute the value of latitude and departure with the help of transit rule. Here I have used transit rule. You can also use either Bowditch method or axis method or approximate method for calculating the traverse. Now let's move on to inversing. Now inversing is the calculation of length and bearing of the line from the in coordinate. Suppose if I need to draw a traverse A, B, C, D, E. So from E I am trying to calculate the values, then we can say that this process is known as inversing. So how to calculate the length of the traverse line? So I have the coordinates. Suppose I have the coordinate x2, I have the coordinate x2, y2, x1, y1. So the length will be equal to under root of x2 minus x1 square plus y2 minus y1 square. And I will calculate the value of slope of this line as tan theta, or I can say tan A, which will be equal to x2 minus x1 upon y2 minus y1. Alternatively also for cot A we can calculate y2 minus y1 upon x2 minus x1. Out of tan A or cot A, whatever we have to choose that particular value which is coming less than unity. Okay. So we need to get angle with high accuracy, and it can be determined only when I will choose the value of tan A or cot A in such a manner which will give me a value less than unity or which is numerically smaller. So it is good to draw the sketch first of a particular traverse line or the traverse, and we need to determine the value of azimuth or whole circle bearing, okay, in order to avoid all the errors. So in this process of inversing, in order to calculate the length and bearing from the end coordinate, we just need to know the following equation tan Aij, which will be equal to xi minus xj upon yi minus yj. Now here we have chosen the point from where we are measuring the particular angle. Suppose if I am measuring a particular angle from here, so I will say that this point is chosen as I and this will be chosen as j. Now the proper sign convention is also observed for the different trigonometrical function as well as for different quadrant for computation of latitude and departure. So in this manner we can calculate the length of the line and we can also calculate the bearing of the line with the help of this inversing method. The length of the line, since either we can calculate it by x2 minus x1 square plus y2 minus y1 square under root, or we can also calculate it from x2 minus x1 upon sin A or y2 minus y1 upon cos A. From this figure and with the help of trigonometrical function, you can easily compute or calculate how to come at this value. From this particular value you can easily get this value, okay. Means how from this formula you can go to or convert this to in the form of y2 minus y1 upon cos A. It is very easy, you can do it. Now for more accurate value we need to choose those functions which will give the larger denominator, or in the other word I can say which will give me numerically smaller values. So I need to choose those trigonometrical function only. For that reason sin A angle will always be chosen from 45 degree to 90 degree, while cos A values will always be chosen from 0 degree to 45 degree. What I mean to say is, if the angle coming in between 45 degree to 90 degree, then we need to choose this formula, okay. And if the cos A value, or we can say if the value is between 0 to 45 degree, so for this particular case we are getting a smaller value. Okay, so we will choose that particular function. Okay, so it is up to us what we are going to choose in order to get the larger denominator. And why we are doing this? We are doing this because we need to calculate the length of the traverse very accurately. So as we are knowing that angular functions are changing less as compared to the rate of change of linear functions or linear measurement, therefore we will try to choose such trigonometrical functions which are having slow rate of changing. Now plotting of a theodolite traverse. How to plot a particular traverse with the help of a theodolite? So for that we need to first draw the grid and then we need to plot the traverse. Suppose in this particular figure, first we need to draw the grid lines. Now this grid lines cannot be drawn with the help of set squares, okay, perfect squares or t squares what you people are having. We need to draw this particular grid lines by drawing two diagonals which will just touch the corner of the drawing sheet. After drawing the diagonal which will touch, suppose this is the corner of the drawing sheet, so we will draw the diagonal first. We will try to locate the intersection point I, and then for constructing the grid line, what we will do, from the point of intersection we will just scale off equal distance. We will try to scale off equal distance in both the direction. For example, suppose if this is the point, chosen point of the intersection, then from here equal scaling distance, for example suppose this is 2 cm, so here also we will go for 2 cm, then 3 cm, here also 3 cm. So in this manner, with the help of scale of distance, we can plot the grid lines. After plotting the grid line, our next task is to join the 4 points, 4 marked points, which is O, P, Q, R, and we will form this particular rectangle O, P, Q, R by joining the points, by drawing the grid lines up to the last. Okay. Now with the help of steel straight edges we will draw these points P, Q, R and O. With the help of the scale we can also check whatever rectangle we are getting after drawing the grid line is correct or not. If the opposite sides are equal to each other of this particular rectangle, then we can say whatever grids we have formed from this intersection point is correct. After getting that, we will just erase the diagonal lines. Now what we will do, we will just draw the vertical grid lines by scaling off equal distance along top line RQ and along bottom line OP. Okay. So in this manner RO and QP we will try to join the vertical grid lines. Okay. So first what we did, first we have taken a piece of paper or the sheet, then we have drawn the diagonal. Then after drawing the diagonal, what we did, we have got a intersection point I. After getting the intersection point I, we just try to scale off the distance equally in both the directions. Okay, and we just marked the points until we reach the end point of the drawing sheet. Okay, then what we did, we just draw this particular rectangle with the help of steel edge. After drawing the rectangle, we just measure the value of RQ and OP with the help of scale, and if these two lengths are equal, we can say that whatever area we have considered for plotting our traverse is equally spaced and are correct. After that we will just erase the diagonal line, and then we will try to locate our first point A of the traverse. Now what we do, we just measure at random the length of the diagonals of some of the square which are in the grids. We will try to measure this line from here to here. We will try to measure this line. We will again try to measure this line. We will again try to measure this line, and we will see these diagonal of the small square formed by the grid lines are equal or not. If the length are equal, we can say that the grids are properly plotted. Now our area is ready to plot the traverse. Okay. So how to plot the traverse? So in this particular case, after locating the point O, suppose this is the point O, and suppose if I need to draw or locate a traverse which is having coordinate 160 meter in east direction and 500 meter in north direction. So for that what we need to do, we just need to divide this horizontal and vertical axis in the points according to the different coordinate of the traverse which we want to locate. So in this grid line what we do, we just try to locate a point A which is 160 meter away. Similarly here in the top also we will try to locate a point B which is 160 meter away. Then we will try to join that point. In the similar manner, since it is given that 500 meter north, so 500 meter north, and it means we are now going to plot latitude value. We are now going to draw the value of latitude which will come in the x, which will come in the x direction. So here I can say what we will do, this value, okay, 500 value we will take, and we will try to mark the point in such a manner that it will cut this particular line. Suppose this line will be AB, this particular line somewhere here. So we will try to locate this point as A. Now we get the point A which is 160 meter east and 500 meter north, because we have considered the coordinate origin. Now we have considered our origin as 0, 0, and this 0, 0 means what? 0, 0 means 0 east and 0 north. So if I am saying 160 east, then I have to move in this direction. If I will say minus 200 if I will say 200 west, then I need to move in this direction. Okay, so in that particular case I need to take origin somewhere here so that I can move or I can plot the values correspondingly. Okay, so for the first case, since it is in northeast direction, suppose if the coordinate is located in southwest direction, so in that case we need to choose this origin in such a manner that southwest direction of the coordinate will lie in the same piece of paper. Okay, so in this manner we just fix our origin. We just try to locate in terms of direction. Suppose 160 east, so we know that for east we need to go in this direction, for north we need to go in this direction. In this manner we try to locate A, and then in the similar manner we will try to plot all the station of the traverse, and after plotting all the station we just join the traverse station. Then we will measure the length between each station, and we will compare it with the already measured distances bit of the traverse lines. Okay, and if all the checks are satisfied, means whatever we have computed, we have calculated in the piece of paper, and whatever values we have got with the help of chain and tape in the regular field, then we can say our traverse is perfectly okay. So in this manner, if all the checks are satisfied, the position of the station are pricked through and all the correction lines are erased. So finally we will get this traverse A, B, C, D, E without these grid lines and without this diagonal. So in this manner we can compute the value, or we can plot the value of a traverse with the help of the theodolite. Now what are the advantages of it? Different advantages of this method is each station is plotted independently here, unlike it in other method. All the values of latitude and departure of the previous station is connected and is distributed, so it is more liable to have errors. But in this particular case, since each station is plotted independent of others, therefore the chances of error passing from one station to another station is very minimal. Secondly, it does not require a protector or any other set square plotting instrument. The error of closure is assessed and adjusted before plotting itself. After plotting, because in the previous method what we are getting, in the previous method we are getting the error after plotting the traverse, but here error of closure is already, we can assess the error of closure and then we can correct it before plotting itself. Now any large error in plotting is readily found out by the scaling of the traverse line during plotting the grids. The error in the plotting can generally be eliminated by replotting only after one affected station. Means here we can make the correction before plotting the traverse only. Within the chosen station only we can make the correction. After making the correction, those errors cannot be transferred to the other station. So this is the biggest advantage of this particular method, graphical method. And lastly, this is the plotting of a large survey can process simultaneously on different sheets, and these sheets can be merged or can be superimposed. So in this manner we can get more accurate value with the help of graphical method. Now let's move to the numerical part. So this numerical is very important, and you can also calculate the value, or you can also adjust the traverse with the help of Bowditch rule. So here what is the question? In a city property survey, following observations were made. We need to calculate the latitude, departure and the closing error after computation of the area enclosed in the traverse. Adjust the coordinate using Bowditch rule. So here it is already mentioned that you need to adjust the coordinate using Bowditch rule. Earlier in the case of Gale traverse table, we have used the transit rule system. How to use? We already know how to use the formula. What is the formula for transit rule? That is, the error in the or correction in the latitude of any line will be equal to the latitude of that particular line upon arithmetic sum of the latitude multiplied by the closing error of the latitude. So now coming to the numerical, these are the length of the traverse line AB, BC, CD, DE, EA, and this is the whole circle bearing of the traverse line. So with the help of this whole circle bearing, our first task to solve this numerical is to plot the traverse. So we will plot the traverse in this manner. Okay, in this manner we can plot the traverse. See here AB line, if we can see AB, so we need to plot it 45 degree 10 minutes whole circle bearing. So in this manner you can easily plot the table. You can mention all the length which are given here. Now the next task is to calculate the latitude and departure. So before going to this part, first let us recall some formula. How to calculate latitude? It is equal to L cos theta. How to calculate departure? It is equal to L sin theta. What are the sign convention of latitude and departure? For first quadrant, value of latitude is in north direction and value of departure is in east direction, so both positive. For second quadrant, latitude value will be negative while departure value is still in east direction, so it will be positive. For third quadrant, both latitude and departure will be negative, and for the last quadrant, value of latitude is positive while departure value is in west direction, so it will be taken as negative. Now this is the formula which you are already knowing from the previous lecture. We also know that perimeter of the length will be equal to the sum of all the length of the traverse lines. So here length of the traverse line AB, that is 89.31 meter plus 219.76 meter plus 151.18 plus 159.10 and 232.26. So if we add the length of all these traverse line, we will get the perimeter of all the sides. Now closing error, as we have determined it in the case of transit rule also, it will be equal to summation of under root of summation of L square plus summation of D square, where summation L will be the sum of the latitude and summation D is the sum of the departure. Here sum of latitude means what? Here sum of latitude means algebraic sum, not the arithmetic sum. Okay, you must be clear where we have to take arithmetic sum and where we have to take algebraic sum. Generally in Bowditch rule we need to take only algebraic sum, while if it is asked to solve the same numerical by transit rule, then we need to take both algebraic sum and arithmetic sum. Please try to solve some numerical based on Bowditch rule and transit rule, so that you can easily understand how to compute the value of traverse after adjustment. Now the next task is to determine the value of latitude and departure. In the question here it is mentioned to determine the value of latitude and departure and then determine closing error. So this is the line AB, BC, CD, DE, EA. We just put the question here. Okay, we just take the sum which is equal to the perimeter P. We just determine the value of cos theta, L cos theta and L sin theta. This is the whole circle bearing. From the angle you can easily understand which angle is lying in which quadrant, and on the basis of that you can calculate the value of latitude and departure with the proper sign convention. For example, here the angle 228 and 300 is lying in the fourth quadrant. Okay, sorry, 228 is lying in the third quadrant. Therefore in third quadrant both values are taken as negative, you can see here, and for fourth quadrant only departure value is taken as negative, because departure value, that is L sin theta value, is taken as negative. Why? Because it is projecting towards the west direction. Okay, but here it is in north direction, so considered as positive. So after calculating the value of latitude and departure, we will calculate the algebraic sum. Here it is algebraic sum. Algebraic sum means according to the sign convention, proper sign. These two are positive and these are negative, so on the basis of that we have calculated 0.51 value and 0.224 for departure. After calculating that, the next task is to determine the closing error, which you are knowing how to calculate under root of delta L square plus summation L square plus summation D square, which will be coming as 0.557 meter. After determining that, what we need to do? We need to adjust the traverse with the help of Bowditch rule. So for Bowditch rule, what we need to do? We need to make the correction in each latitude. Okay, in each latitude, because here we can see a closing error of 0.557 meter is there. If this 0.557 is 0, means no closing error, then I can say that this is the corrected value of latitude and departure. But since some error is there, it means we have to distribute this error uniformly in all the latitude and departure value. So let's begin the task by adjusting the coordinate using Bowditch rule. So by Bowditch rule, what we need to do? We need to make the correction, and it will be equal to total error in the latitude, which will be equal to this, into length of the particular line. For example, if AB, then 962.968 upon perimeter of the traverse line. All the sum perimeter means this, sum of all the line. So here, and what is the formula of transit rule? it will be equal to total error, or we can say the value of latitude of a particular line upon arithmetic sum of the latitude into closing error. Okay, so in this manner we can determine the value for the particular traverse. So here you can see that these are the lines AB, BC, CD, DE, EA, length, and then actual values are here. Now what we have to calculate? We have to calculate the total value of the latitude, and for that what we need to do? We just need to put the value. So total error in latitude, here what is the error in latitude? It is 0.51 into what is the length? Length here is 62.968 for line AB, and we need to divide it with the perimeter, which is equal to 851.61, and the value is coming as 0.053. If you can calculate it by yourself, you will get this value. Okay, so in this manner you can get the value as 0.053. Now as we already know that the error is coming in positive, so we will take the correction as negative. If the error is coming in negative, then we have to take the correction as positive. Okay, so in this manner, suppose for example for line BC, how to calculate the correct latitude? For line BC, what we will do? We just do total error in latitude. So what is the total error? That is 0.557 into length of that particular line. So length of the line BC is 219.76, okay, divided by perimeter, which will be 851.61, which will be coming as 0.132 here. So in this manner you can calculate the values of latitude, and in the similar manner you can calculate the values of departure. With the help of the latitude, we can calculate, or we can get whatever values we can find. For example, for all these cases, suppose if I can say that for the departure value, if I need to calculate for AB, the total error in departure here is, I can say the total error in departure will be equal to 0.224. So 0.224 is the total error in departure multiplied by length upon perimeter. So length here is 89.31 divided by 851.61. So the value will be coming as, it will be coming as 0. It is coming as 0.023. Similarly, for the value, I can say, similarly for the value for the line DE, suppose for line DE, if I want to calculate corrected latitude and corrected departure, you just need to take total error in latitude, which is 0.51, into length of the line, which is 159.10, upon perimeter, which is 851.61. So in this manner you will get the value as 0.095. Since all the error is in positive direction, both latitude and departure, so all the corrections which we are going to make in the latitude is negative. Similarly, all the correction which we are going to make in departure is negative. So here correction are taken as negative. Now you can calculate the corrected value by deducting it, simply by deducting this correction here. So 62.968 minus 0.053, you will get it 62.915. In the similar manner, you will get here 63 all the corrected values of departure. After calculating this, you need to determine the origin, okay, or independent coordinate. After getting the corrected values of latitude and departure, you need to calculate the origin. For that, what you need to do? You just mark a north-south axis and east-west axis and take the coordinate as 0, 0. Suppose here I have taken 0, 0. Now the first coordinate will be equal to the corrected value of latitude and corrected value of departure. So 63.312, which is corrected value of latitude, or sorry, corrected value of departure, and 62.915, which is the corrected value of latitude. Okay. So in this manner, you can see here corrected value. Now for other point, that is for point C, what you need to do? This point C. So for this point C, you just need to add these two values, 63.312 plus 209.045, and you will get the departure value as 272.357. Okay, and in the similar manner, you can add 62.915 plus 67.474, and you will get the value as 130.389. Okay, so what I am saying, simply in order to calculate the independent coordinate at the last, you just need to sum the previous values of the coordinate. If it is in minus direction, if it is in having minus sign, then you have to follow proper sign convention and you can able to calculate all the proper coordinates. Okay, so after calculating all the coordinates of different traverse station, our next task is to calculate the area of the particular traverse. Okay, for the earthwork. After calculating the area, what we need to do? We need to determine how much soil is or earthing is needed for a particular area. Suppose I need to plot, or I need to make a road in this particular traverse, then how much soil I am needing for filling this particular area, I can calculate after determining the area from the traverse obtained. Okay, so in this manner, what are the different tasks? First is to plot the traverse on the basis of whole circle bearing. Then you need to determine the value of latitude and departure in terms of proper sign convention, proper quadrant where the whole circle bearing is lying, and then you determine the algebraic sum of latitude and algebraic sum of departure. Since after determining the closing error, we can get the value as 0.557 meter, it means some error is there and we have to distribute this particular error in all the respective traverse line. So this will be considered as error in the latitude and this will be considered as error in the departure. Suppose if this value is coming as 0, then I can say no error in the latitude or departure is there. After calculating the closing error, our next task is to correct the latitudes and to correct the departure value separately for all the traverse line. So for calculating the correction according to formula, we will calculate it as total error in latitude. So total error in latitude will be taken as 0.51 into length of the traverse line, suppose here 89.31 upon 851.61. So if I will calculate the value, so what I will get? 0.51. You just try to calculate it with me and you will get the value. So after calculating that, what we will get? We will just determine the value of the latitude corrections. Okay, and we will also determine the corrected latitude after deducting it. Why I have considered all the values here negative? Because we have found out that error is coming as positive, so we have taken all the correction in negative direction. So now this negative and this negative will give me negative value. So in the same manner, you have to be very careful about the sign conventions you are using for different quadrant as well as sign convention while computing the value of latitude and departure. Okay, after calculating the corrected value of latitude and departure, you can easily calculate the independent coordinate of different stations A, B, C, D, E, which you have now corrected with corrected departure and latitude values. So you can get it by what? You just try to take first value as 0, 0. Then you can take the first corrected value of latitude and departure. Then you can add these two coordinates for getting the third one. Then you can add the coordinate of A, B, C to get the fourth one, and similarly for other stations. So in this manner, it is we have completed how to determine the values with the help of Bowditch rule, how to determine the adjustment of traverse using transit rule, how to represent the value in the Gale's traverse table. So please try to solve numericals based upon these methods and try to understand this lecture, and let me know if you are having any error regarding any confusion or any doubts regarding this lecture. Thank you all.